Let's talk about it. Are your coworkers your friends? Should you add them on social media? Before we get into the clips, I'm going to give you my understanding. Like I said, nothing wrong with forming relationships at the workplace, but you should be very careful of who you call a friend. Especially, like I said, if you're just starting to work at this job and you really don't know these people very well. Again, like I said, you should probably just to err on the side of caution, keep work and your personal life separate. Because, like I said, I've seen instances where it came back to burn employees. Let's get into the clips.
They not your friends. Your boss, your supervisor, your manager, your co-workers, these are not your friends. The only reason why y'all are with each other and by each other 40 hours a week is because you got a job. This is not by choice. You didn't even know who was in the building until after you got hired, right? Your co-workers can be narcissists. They can be liars. They can be sociopaths. They can be crazy and bipolar and off their meds. You don't know these people. Stop befriending these strangers as tough as y'all are. And I guarantee you, because I've done it. I've had a coworker say, Angela, if you get fired, we all walking out. They still work there. They still work there. They're not quitting. You talking about I'm about to stop making my money because another person got fired. So please stop going to work to make friends. They not your friends. They are associates and co-workers. Get your money and go home. Don't get caught up in them nonsense. Lay you back.
She does make very good points. Like I said, you really don't know some of these people from a can of paint. You don't know their mental health standing, and like I said, you could wind up getting buddy buddy with a person, thinking that's your friend, and the whole time this person is literally trying to sabotage you. So you definitely got to be careful.
Your coworkers are not your friends. I say that all the time. You're not at work because you want to be at work. You're at work because situations like bills mandate and necessitate you being at work. So no one's actually there by choice. That being said, the relationship can only be one of convenience. It's one of circumstance. The people at work that you are friends with, you're only friends with them because y'all all hate the same people. You know what I'm talking. Your work friend, y'all sit and talk about the boss. You talk about that's what your work friend is. That's not an authentic relationship. Everybody know you get too close to the coworker. Next thing you know, you come in on Monday and have the place know your business. It's not fun.
That's facts. The way he broke it down, it's a relationship of convenience. That is very true when you really think about it. Again, like I said, if it wasn't for y'all both being at the same job, y'all probably would have nothing in common and y'all probably would never speak. So, like I said, it's probably smart, like I said, to keep personal and work separated. Doesn't mean that you can't interact and engage with your coworkers, but you want to keep things light and never get really too deep into your personal life.
You shouldn't become friends with your coworkers. I had a friend who worked with a team of 4 other people, and the 4 other people got laid off. So my friend texted like the group chat and was like, "Hey, how are you guys doing? Like, here's some jobs. Let me know if you need anything." Now, over the course of this month, they're like complaining about the bosses they didn't like, or just complaining about the organization and how they did things, and like the way that this layoff went down. My friend is participating in the conversation because like she's also annoyed by how everything went down. Specifically, they all had this one boss who like they just had a hard time with. My friend said that the boss was like nice seemingly, but like could be difficult to follow sometimes and seemed to lose her train of thought very often, and it was just very confusing to work for this woman. So one day, a month after the layoffs, that same boss starts acting like really weird. So then my friend got called into a meeting with HR and that person's boss. So naturally she's like, "Oh my God, like it's a second round of layoffs. I'm gonna be next. Like I'm going home." So she gets into this meeting and it's like at like 7:30 a.m. or like a ridiculously early time. She gets into the meeting and then HR is like, "Hey, we got wind of a text message that you were on, and granted it was on your personal phone, but we got wind of this text message you were on, and we want to know if you can explain what you were saying in these text messages." So HR begins to like read line by line everything that my friend had been saying in these messages and asks her to explain each and everything. So like, remember my friend's boss who everybody had trouble with could be like forgetful sometimes. So my friend said that she would often call her Dory in these text messages because she was so forgetful. So HR is like, "So you called X, Y, and Z, Dory, what did you mean by that? So of course my friend's wondering like, okay, who gave you guys these text messages? Because at this point it's one of the people. Just be careful out here. Don't trust people. Nothing's safe. Not even your personal phone.
Prime example why you got to be very, very careful of, like I said, what you say and discussing things um, pertaining to work. Like this was on this woman's personal phone, and one of her coworkers that got laid off literally snitched on her, and now she got jammed up with HR and probably ultimately is going to lose her job. Or if she didn't lose her job, she's definitely going to be targeted by that boss that she was talking about.
The biggest mistakes that you can make in the workplace is to assume that all of your work colleagues are your friends. The reason you even know your work colleagues is because you've all been brought together by circumstance, and that circumstance is work. Majority of the time, work relationships are superficial at best. The primary reason we go to work is to get a paycheck. If you were to remove work out of the equation, you'd probably have no reason to speak to your work colleagues ever again. These are 3 things that I'd personally not do around my work colleagues, because if you do, it can land you in a whole load of problems. Number 1, oversharing. When it comes to your love life, health, political views, religious views, and finances, I would highly recommend you don't discuss these things, most especially in depth with your work colleagues. In the workplace, there are many animals in human form. When you tell someone personal details about yourself, just know that it's safe to assume that more than half of your workplace know about those details you shared. Number 2, never talk about your boss or another colleague to anyone. Even if your boss is the spawn of the devil, Grim Reaper, Judas Iscariot, P. Diddy, don't say things you don't like about your boss or another colleague to somebody in the workplace, because it will surely come back to bite you. Some people, work is their life. I'm talking about they live and breathe that job, okay? These type of work colleagues are the most dangerous. If you go and give them ammo by telling them things you don't like about your boss or another colleague, if they don't like you, they will throw you under the bus and make sure they get rid of you. Number 3, don't engage in gossip. I think this one is self-explanatory. Work colleagues that will sit down and gossip about another work colleague to you, most especially when you've seen the gossiper and the person that they're talking about getting along and having a good time, will do the exact same thing to you when you're not around. In the workplace, the walls have ears. People are crafty. Listen, in your communal area, you will see people pretending as though they're minding their business. They've got AirPods on. They're not listening to music. They're listening to what you're saying. That's how crafty people are. The workplace is cruel. People will have you guilty by association just because you were there in the presence when they were gossiping about somebody. They'll rope you in. I'm not saying you can't make friends in a workplace. You absolutely can. But rarely will you find a true friend in the workplace.
Man, that brother broke it down from A to Z. Very well said. Like I said, I'm just going to touch on a few points. The point he talks about talking about religion and politics, absolutely a no-go when it goes into the workplace. Definitely not in depth, in detail, because like I said, you never know what a person's views are on that subject. And like I said, it's a very emotional topic. And like I said, it's never probably going to end well in the long run. Again, like I said, the walls definitely do have ears in the workplace. People pretend to be working and active whole time. They be trying to ear hustle and listen to what you have to say. And if it's not good, they will repeat that and understand half of the job, will know by the end of the day. That even goes for the internet. Be mindful of what you why logging onto the job Wi-Fi or the computer. Like I said, usually computers from the job, you have a username and password. Understand they can see everything that you search for, every website that you visit. Never, like I said, never go with anything personal, social media, anything on work computers or their Wi-Fi network. If you're going to get on the internet, like I said, use it on your phone and make sure not to connect to the Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people all the time, one of the first things they do is they get to the job, what's the Wi-Fi password? No, that's a no-go.
Stop adding your coworkers on social media. They are not your friends. Do you want them to see the real you, like you turning up till 4 in the morning, and then you're going to call off the next day? They're going to snitch you out. Do not burn yourself out like that.
Definitely know a colleague personally that definitely got jammed up doing so. Like I said, it's just best to keep work in your personal life separate. It's like I said, just rule of thumb. You're just gonna be better off in the long run doing so, because you never know who's watching your social media, and you never know what they're reporting back.
The second I start a job, no matter what occupation it is, I block my coworkers on social media. Doesn't matter. Literally, when I walk at orientation, block. immediately. At my previous job, I'm called into the office by my manager, who's also blocked, by the way. Called into the office and I'm questioned. We heard that you blocked so-and-so on this social media platform. Is this true? I said, absolutely. They said, well, why did you block that person? I said, hold on. Am I violating any policy you guys have that involves my employment here by blocking this person or anybody else on social media? They said, no. I said, okay, well, then I won't answer that. I refuse to answer that question. Then she goes into this whole spiel about, oh, here we're a family and I'm the only one of these here. All right, unless I'm adopted, I don't see how anyone else could be related. But I was making okay pay here, and I didn't want to, bring tension to the workplace, so I unblock everybody, right? No exaggeration. The second I did that, literally the next day, I get sick. I call out. I get a text from my manager say, "Hey, I see that you're out and about on social media. Glad you're feeling better. We're gonna have a talk when you come in tomorrow." I don't even respond. I go in the next day and she's talking about a story that I posted. And again, we all know I do skits. The story was a re-upload from a TikTok I did literally like 2 years ago. It was a re-upload, bro. I put it on my story. And when I showed her that, she's like, oh, my bad. I was like, do you see why I didn't want...
He should have went with his first instinct and kept everybody blocked. Again, like I said, as soon as he unblocked them, he happened to call out sick. And literally, he posted a story, and his boss, not knowing that it was a repost, thought that he was lying about being sick, called him into the office. And if he wasn't able to prove that that was a repost, he probably would have lost his job. Again, that's why they were so thirsty for you to unblock. They was looking for some dirt and evidence. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that brother, he's probably not even at that job anymore. Because like I said, if they was that thirsty on his social media, they was looking for a reason to get rid of him.
Here's why you should not add your coworkers on social media. If you work a job, a 9-to-5 job, you should not be adding or letting them see your social media ever. Listen up. Number one, because you have no privacy. Straight up, you have no privacy. You know what I mean? Like, and you want to have that. You don't want your coworkers knowing any and everything about you. You know what I mean? Especially if you like a content creator, they're going to be all in your business of the content that you make. You know what I mean? And they're going to be able to see that other side of you. Number two, not only are they going to be able to see that other side of you, but they may even, use that against you in the workplace. Listen, I ain't worked no 9-to-5 job in a long time, but I used to. And I started doing social media and content creating like back in 2016 and ran into these issues a whole lot of times, a plethora of times. Trust me, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass if they see your social media. And number three, if you like to turn up, you like to party, you like to post it on social media, you can't do that no more. I'm gonna be for real with you because you have coworkers that follow you, and a lot of these coworkers, they be in competition with your ass. Cause look, the workplace is competitive a lot of times. You wanna climb the ladder. If you're working in the corporate job arena too, you can forget that. Cause they're gonna try to use that against you, like I said. And they're gonna try to tell the boss, they're gonna try to tell the manager, whatever it may be, to get your ass fired. Don't think they won't do it, cause they will.
Yeah, you will have coworkers that will be friends with you on social media and screenshot and share things. And like I said, wait for the perfect time to expose it. Like I said, it's best to keep work and personal separate. And like I said, again, doesn't mean that you can't make friends at the workplace, but you just have to be very mindful of who you allow into your personal space.
Just a reminder, your coworkers are not your friends. They are there to work with you to get a job done. Do not trust them. I just walked in an office and there's two women that are usually really friendly together. So I always thought they were friends, okay? Their manager comes in and say, hey, good morning, ladies, how you doing? And one of the ladies says, oh, it's a good morning, but I thought I was gonna be working by myself. And her supposed friend looks over and the manager looks over too and say, you guys get here at the same time. Why did you think that? She said, oh, we do, to indicate that they don't. And so the boss, manager looked kind of confused, but it was what we used to call dry snitching. So pay attention and don't get too close. Do your job and go home.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch whoever that was. If she was that bold to try to throw you under the bus in front of the manager with you right there, that woman, yeah, she don't rock with you at all.
Tell your employer what you're doing on your day off. Don't tell them about how you're feeling. Don't tell them about your emotions. Don't tell them about your stress. Don't ask them for help. because one way or another, they're going to find a way to weaponize that against you. And it's always so wild how they make it seem like it's like in your best interest, or maybe that they're just trying to make sure that they're meeting the compliance of the company and that we're following the rules. I have had so many jobs where I'll tell my employer, my most recent corporate job, I had gotten literally domestically abused by my roommate. And I told my manager, I was like, hey, like, I'm not doing very well right now mentally. Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on in my life. I have a couple court dates because I got domestically abused by my roommate. So I'm gonna have to miss a couple days here and there. And like, I might just take like a week off for like personal health or like mental health. She was like, oh, it's fine, you're good, don't worry about it. I got laid off 3 weeks after I got domestically abused. And they're like, oh, your performance kind of just fell off. Nigga, what did you expect from that, honestly? And that's why I took the time off, because I knew my performance wasn't going to be where it needed to be, because I just mentally was not there. Don't tell your employers anything about your life, because they're not like really like. And I've seen videos on TikTok like somebody dies and they're like, their employer like doesn't give a shit about them, but like then they're on top of you about like your day-to-day stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you are not as important as you think to the company that you work for. Even the CEO is not that important. They'll replace them the day after they die. They'll put out a little message.
Facts. Like I said, the brother shared way too much information. If he needed to take some time off, he should have just did so. If he had the PTO and moved it like that, because it sounds like they already kind of probably wanted to get rid of him, and they, like I said, they'll weaponize the social media as an excuse to do so.
Ever, and I repeat, never share any personal details about you to any coworker. You do not know what their motives are at the end of the day for them asking this information from you. These people are not your friends. It's like a forced environment with people, right? They're not friends that you're actively choosing. Yeah, you happen to be in the same environment, but you just don't know where these people's heads are at when you are sharing information about yourself, or if they're asking information. You just kind of want to be a little wary, a little careful about what you give away. You just don't know if these types of people are looking for something to use against you in the future. If they're using that as like some way like, oh, you know, maybe that's why she's messing up at work, because she's going through this at work, right? And therefore, they'll tell management. You just don't know what they have against you. Be very vague when you share anything. There's people that are looking for your downfall in a coworker situation. And I'm not saying for everything, okay? But just to keep yourself just safe from any possible bad situation, keep everything on lock. Like, do not tell anybody anything about you. Do your job, get in, get out. That's it. Want to be friends with your coworkers? I get that, but just keep it very superficial. You don't need to let them know anything right away. Just because you don't know what people's motivations are and their intentions are, and you just don't know if they have evil eye for you, they want you out of the company and they're pretending to be your friend. Don't trust people so easily in a coworker situation. You just don't know who they are at the end of the day. Make sure that you're tracking and documenting everything that you're doing, because some of these people will say that you didn't do something, report that to management, and who knows, maybe they've been there for a long time and they take their word over yours. So always document everything. Don't share anything with a coworker. You will just protect yourself at the end of the day, and that's all you need to worry about.
Very true. Like I said, you know, you want to probably keep most people at arm's length. Keep things very light. You know, they ask how your weekends. Weekend was fine, nothing too crazy. How's your day going? My day is going well. How about yours? Be cordial, be professional, and, you know, keep your work and personal separate. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think you should keep your do you think you should add your coworkers as friends on social media? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.